Jai Hind everyone, this is Chinu Kwatra and welcome to the next episode of Insaan Bano podcast where again we are meeting someone who is super inspirational to me, someone who is a darling to me, someone who is super happy, bubbly girl who is doing a lot for climate change. Climate change सुनते ही everyone को ऐसा लगता है we again will be talking about प्लास्टिक मत करो, ये मत करो, वो मत करो, ऐसे मत करो, बट नहीं करो वाली चीज़ यहाँ पे नहीं होने वाली है. हम वो चीज़ बताएंगे जो करनी चाहिए आपको एज टू टेक केयर ऑफ योर ओन planet Earth, because it is said that we only have one Earth to live in. So not wasting much of your time, I wanted to introduce to my favorite human who is based in Delhi but working across the globe. She's Aishwarya Sharma. Welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I am so nervous and fumbling today.
You're not.
I am behind the cameras. I am because I'm with someone whom I adore a lot.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I've been. It has been few months only we got in touch, but the work you are talking about to the world is different.
Thank you.
Is different than the people are doing. एक ट्री प्लांट लगा लो, आप बीच क्लीन अप कर लो, आप कचरा उठा लो, उससे ज़्यादा
Which
better.
is important.
Which is definitely important and every second human should do, but with that you are raising a voice related to fashion.
Thank
So this girl is a fashion activist, India's first fashion activist, which is very rarely known. Abhi fashion activist, she don't make clothes, she's not a फैशन डिज़ाइनर बट शी इज़ एन एक्टिविस्ट. अभी वो एक्टिविस्ट होता क्या है वो ज्ञान ये आपको देने वाली है. सो टेल मी ऐश्वर्या, हु इज़ रियल ऐश्वर्या, हु इज़ what is fashion activism is all about.
Great. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. So thank you so much. I'm also sitting with someone who inspires me a lot every day to become a better human and to do whatever we can in our own way. So thank you for having me on this amazing podcast, this content piece that you've created. And getting back to your question. So when I started 4 years ago, I was fashion blogging. But I really had no purpose in terms of, how could we make it more inclusive? Because how we know fashion since years is not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
So the default meaning of fashion, which is to make it for people to feel good when they wear something or do something, is completely eliminated from today's fashion world.
Right.
Or how we knew it 4 years ago as well. So I think my main purpose of doing this and starting it was combining fashion and activism together, which means that you are bridging the gap between activism and fashion and bringing the two, marrying the two together in a way that has never been done before. But if you look at it, fashion has always been an elevation for people. People wear something, buy things because it makes them feel good. It takes them out of something. It offers that escape to people, right? And having that in my mind, I started combining the two, which means that we bridge the gap between NGOs, between supply chains, which we now call as value chains, and fashion brands, span lifestyle beauty, because we wanted these brands to give out more. When they take something from this planet, when they make what they are making at that mass capacity, they should be giving it back as well.
Right.
So with that purpose in mind, we started spreading awareness on how fashion could be used as a medium of social impact and for good of the society. So I think it has been an ongoing process ever since. We will get into more details of what we do and how we actually bring it together and bring people together in this. But the main essence of it is that fashion is supposed to be a medium for change. And for me, it's one of the biggest mediums of change because I don't know anything else if not this. So with that in mind, we thought that let's marry the two, fashion and activism, and see how it works because I think people in the world really needed it.
Lovely, yaar. This is something very interesting to know about because, see, I started my journey as I was not knowing where I'll be known as an environmentalist. So I was accidentally called as an environmentalist when I started beach cleaning.
Oh, wow.
But in my earlier days, in my college days, I started an environment club where we planted trees and everything. And I'm sure there are youngsters who want to learn about fashion activism.
True.
And I feel honestly, those youngsters should be knowing you personally now and train them, intern them let's take them on board and spread this word of fashion activism even more.
That's true.
Even more.
Yeah.
Even more ज़्यादा, I suppose.
I know more people should know it. Like लोगों को पता ही नहीं है. Like I feel like I have all these years that I've gone to places and did seminars and did more things. I felt like one perpetual question that everybody had is like, okay, but like what is fashion activism? That is like a constant question. I'm telling you, like even till today. And for another some time, I think that question is going to be like the highlight of, I think, my career, because everybody, wherever I've gone, has been like, what is fashion activism? Explain this to us.
So I am so proud to know this, that pioneer of fashion activism is Aishwarya in India. So I am so happy that someone will be following in the later stage, future stage. If people will be learning about fashion.
We'll be making history.
Yeah, we'll be making history, definitely. So why and how did you get this idea? I am sure at this age of yours, I don't know your age first. I know you.
I
know
turned
it.
26.
Yeah, so I was about to ask you 4 years back. So you were for 12 or 14 when you started this?
No, I wasn't. Oh my God. I think I was, I was 19 years old when I started it.
Super. So you started this, and at this age where females want to be super duper independent in their corporate life or in their business, where they are entrepreneurs who are making money, minting money, I would say, in terms of selling all those things which is not needed for climate. But still, you are into this profession, I would say, where I don't know how much the wealth you are generating in this, but I am definitely knowing that you are doing a better health for the environment.
Thank you.
This is random, not scripted at all. You know this, but
Thank you.
I want to know why this happened, where you at the age of 19, where I suppose I was dating a girl and getting flunked in my college. But in that time, you thought that you want to get into activism.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, diving deep
Yes.
into the deep ends, are we? So I was, when I was in college, third year, was about the time when I started this. So I was interning with Stop Acid Attacks. Okay. Which is a campaign by the Chinu Foundation. It's run by Miss Lakshmi and her husband, Mr. Alok Dikshit, the two activists that I think the world knows of today for the amount of work they have done for acid attack survivors. And it is such a heinous crime that's still committed against women in the world. So I think as a teenager, I became involved with them and I was volunteering with them. And that was the time, I think a year back, 2016, Miss Lakshmi walked the ramp at London Fashion Week. Wow. And that made history. That made the biggest highlight for every news media outlet the next day, because something like that has never been done. And also the fact that people looked at it, some people did look at it as acid attack survivors getting the recognition that they deserve. But I think for me, I looked at it as fashion being the medium of change there. Because again, reinstating that since fashion is such a mass medium, everybody in this world enjoys fashion. You wear clothes, right? Your life is related to it at every point. So when she walked the ramp, the only reminder that I think it served me is that fashion, this is what fashion is meant for. It's meant to make you feel, it's meant to make you seen, heard, felt. And I felt that that was the beginning for me to use fashion as the biggest medium of change, because this has just been done. Now what else can we do? Who else can we help? How can we bring this closer to home? So I think that was the first idea. It was like my first tryst with fashion and activism together. And then I never looked back. It's, while I do understand that I could have chosen a more conventional career, which could have made me more money, clearly, and could have gotten me more understanding of people, because people don't understand what I do. They don't. It's so hard for me to explain to people what I do, because they don't understand what fashion activism is. And also the fact that when they do understand that she's an activist, they're always looking at me in a way that, but you don't look like an activist.
Yeah, so they want us to wear jhola and kurta pajama and types, right?
You know, something that screams activism. So I feel like it's more about optics for how we are being seen than what we are doing. So that's also a reason why I'm very happy that we are doing this today and like breaking some myths out there and stereotypes related to it. So yeah.
So fashion activism can look this way, and social activism can look this way. So we don't need jhola, we don't need kurta pajama, we don't need. I don't need to wear big glasses to look like a social activist. I am not a person to go against the government. I am a person who want to bring the change, and the change starts.
We want to bring government, stakeholders, civil societies, people, everybody closer to form a connect and say that we are all in this together.
Definitely, it is. There is no. I honestly feel that in India, blame game is too much. So we keep blaming each other for some of the other things, and we forget that the day we start blaming, we are wasting that day. Instead, start acting on that day and keep bringing that smaller change, which is much required.
Which is much required given everything.
Definitely. At the age of 19, you started this, and you are growing, you're glowing, everything is happening. And the environment, there are talks not only in India but internationally also. How did your parents react at that time, or how they are supporting now? Because that support, that back-end support is much needed in any of the stream where you are not in a particular stream which every second person is taking. You are going out of the box and doing something. So how difficult or easy it was to convince parents that this we want to do it?
It was actually both. It was easier to convince them. Luckily, it was more difficult to convince myself. So I think that was more on those lines. I mean, I felt that I want to do this, but I did not like. There is no textbook on fashion activism, right? So I think what I understood and what also scared me a lot is that I probably have to create this textbook. It inspired me, but it also scared me because I don't have a background in fashion, if you look at it. I don't know anything about fashion. But you know how everybody my age enjoys fashion? I was just doing that. You know, I was like, even on the most sad days, I was dressing up and going to college or going somewhere and making myself feel good about it. And that was that. But I just felt that it obviously served more purpose, you know, because I was working with the survivors. I was working with people on ground through a lot of NGOs. And it just felt that why can't I use my Instagram to say more for them? So it was never really about saying something that I believed in. It was more about saying what they wanted to impart to the world. So I think I opened my Instagram, specifically my social media, to those people, to those voices, and became their voice. So I think it's an honor if somebody gives you that space to become their agent. Because most of us in this country do not have the resources either or the freedom to say what we want to say.
True.
Right? So when we were doing it, I told my parents this is what I think I want to do. And obviously they couldn't understand it, but they were very supportive of me pursuing what I want to do. It was just difficult for me to convince myself how should I do it, because there was nothing available even online for this. So I needed to start from scratch. So I think that really followed. But now they're like, they understand it because I also understand what I'm doing. Earlier, I probably didn't. I had a purpose, but I had no understanding of how this will be ever done.
Super, yeah, that's super sweet, and it is something which inspire us even more when our parents start understanding us, and then we feel that we are on a right track and we are doing it. Though we are not minting money, but we are sleeping better. That is
We'd like to mint money.
We would definitely mint money, but the sleep is also is
Very
peaceful
important.
and it's better for the better health, and you have to do a lot in future.
No, I think that's something that I've learned from you in the months that I know you, is that you definitely do sleep better because the lives that you impact on ground and through your various projects and initiatives that you do. I think that's commendable. The work that you do with your NGO Khushiyan is something that most of us can just aspire to do one day. So the fact that you understand their situation and you put them above everything else is something that I feel like everybody should learn.
Thank you, thank you. It is the journey which was started just to spread khushiyan for myself, and that's how here we are,
Yeah.
spreading it, trying to spread it to more people.
So basically, we are one of those people. My industry is producing this waste. Your industry is cleaning it. Let's put it like that.
And trust me, Siddharth, you need to come to the beach cleanup. So
Oh my
many
God.
clothes, so many clothes you will find it during the beach cleanup.
Please say that out loud.
I want people, please shop less, please shop ethically. Don't go on the sales, 90% sales, 100% sales. I don't know, these online medium will sue me for this.
They won't.
But I don't really care, because I would invite them for the beach.
No, that's true. I think that's something that should be like said out loud, is that there is so much fashion waste in the world. We are the second most polluting industry in the world. I have never been to a beach cleanup before that I will be going with you. Yeah. But I feel like you said that since you guys clean these beaches up, the most waste that comes either from plastic or from fashion clothes and fabrics that have just been disposed of.
So in our beaches, you will find household materials. So if you come for a beach cleanup and if you have an empty house, you can fill your house with that.
Oh my God.
So you'll find a dining table, you'll find a study table, you will find wooden particles, you will find school bags, you will find shoes, you will find jeans, t-shirts, sanitary napkins, used condoms, everything which can give you a home. Every small thing, and it is so disaster that people are throwing such small and every shit in the ocean or in the river nearby, which is coming back to the ocean.
Yeah.
A small gyan which we studied in school, yaar. Whatever you throw in the ocean, ocean throws back.
That is true.
I don't know people why they are not learning.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
We've seen references of that happening everywhere, even in Bombay. Once there is like a overwave and it's just like everything's like thrown back.
So rainy season is the peak time for us, because the storm comes in and it throws out, pukes.
Yeah.
The ocean pukes all the garbage out, because it cannot take inside in its tummy. With Instagram की बात की तो I am very fascinated with your Instagram handle. So Figaro Moda,
Yes.
right? And what does that mean? Because I know I'm following you. I know I'm seeing you every time on Instagram whenever you are posting. So I'm stalking you, you can say. But I am still clueless about the name behind it. What is? लोग बोलते हैं कि आपने मेरा नाम चीनू क्यों रखा? तो मैं आपको पूछता हूँ, आपने फिगरो मोडा क्यों रखा?
Oh well, mine was not accidental. I know yours was. Let's give that clarity out there. Is that yours was accidental, mine wasn't. Mine was actually really planned. It means figura moda means fashion in Latin.
Okay.
It actually means fashion. So double the fashion. I actually did it because I wanted a great SEO and a great uniqueness to my page. Right. There was nothing of this name ever on the internet. Right. So I searched that. It was like a 3 months of rigorous understanding of what name I want to keep. And going forward, I chose this because there was never a figura moda. Like there was never a figura moda on the internet.
So क्या history लिखने की ठान ली है क्या? Figaro moda भी, फिर fashion activism भी, मतलब कुछ दूसरों के लिए छोड़ना है कि खुद सब लिख के जाना है. But the moment you told that you want to write a textbook, and that is something even I want to do, and I want to be a part of it. We can definitely start writing about fashion activism and publish a book soon.
Absolutely. Oh my God, there goes our next announcement.
So sponsors, please come in. Publishers, please come in. Yeah. I know there are many challenges which comes in daily life. See, and challenges hai, obstacles hai, depressions hai, stress hai. Anything which made you sort of stressed, depressed in your field.
Oh wow. All day, every day.
See, depression is not only about relationship. मैं depression जैसे बोलता ना, लोग अपना वो रोना धोना शुरू कर देते हैं, मेरा breakup हो गया, मेरा ये हो गया, मेरा वो हो गया. I feel the career can also give you depression. I feel the people who are not supporting whom you wanted, from whom you wanted the most support,
Yeah.
they are not supporting.
Yeah.
So that is a kind of gives you depression and stress. So what, have you gone through anything like that?
I actually have been going through that ever since.
Okay.
When I started this in college, I had a group of friends. And the moment I started in publishing blogs about it on WordPress, I remember that there were anonymous groups made for me by my friends and people that I knew in college, and mostly women. So I want to like clear that up. Is that this is not that I'm saying that men were ridiculing me for what I did. It's mostly women. So for me, most of my rejection and most of the consequences that I've had in my career and as a young person is through women. Women my age, women who are older than me. Because I feel like it's such a way, while my entire life has been about, is dedicated to uplifting women from the marginalized sections, because this is what I had believed in doing from the very first day. Women have always acted against me. So I couldn't be like more clear about that. I remember these groups being made on WhatsApp, sharing my pictures. What does she think she's doing? What does this even mean?
And where are they now?
Just banter.
I would say, where are they now? Have you been to COP27? Have you been to Egypt? Have you been to a sponsored trip? No, na.
Oh my
So
God.
this girl is making wonders. Who was once bullied
A lot. And I think that continues when you do something which people don't understand. I don't blame them. They probably don't understand it. But I feel more encouragement from my home country in terms of awareness, because I am always all about connecting the brand with the right cause. And the system is so traditional and they are so regressive in their approach, is that they don't want to move above from it. They don't want to move forward. So I think people like me, it's not just me, but I feel like people like me, you, I, and more people that I get to know through my work every day, I feel it is obviously more challenging for us because we are trying to do things differently. And when you try to do things differently, there is more resistance than support. So I don't think that's something that I say that take pity on people like us, because we don't want that. I think that only thing that I could say probably on your behalf, my behalf, and all the people who are doing this kind of work, where they're thinking about others, they're putting their planet above their own needs. For example, I don't take collaborations with fast fashion brands like Urbanic or Shein. I will, even if they pay me huge amount of money, which they probably do, I would not take that money. I would rather work with a homegrown sustainable brand or somebody who's doing the fair means of practices, even if they are paying me way lesser than that, or even if they're paying me nothing in return. I think that's more of the approach that we are following, all of us. So I feel like the only thing that I wanted to say is that instead of resisting us so much, if you can support what we do, feel like that will really inspire younger people to get involved in the business and really go forward.
Any message for the young people or the young entrepreneurs who are looking for this, or young activism? Because honestly, what happens, Aishwarya, you know that we are in an Indian society. जब भी हमें बोला जाता है घर से बाहर निकलो, पैसे कमाओ, लाइफ सेट कर लो, शादी कर लो, बच्चे पैदा कर लो, बूढ़े हो जाओ, उसके बाद ये सब काम करना, right? And when I started this journey of being a social activist, I also got a very backlash from everyone, though I had a very supportive family. But with that, the outside, because घर के बाहर तो family नहीं होती, घर के बाहर तो लोग होते हैं, दोस्त होते हैं, यार होते हैं, उन्होंने कभी उस नज़र से support नहीं किया. But anything you want to tell the age group of yours or younger to them who want to build up something into activism, but they are hesitant because of this reason, कि मुझे कौन भाव देगा या क्या होने वाला है. Yeah,
that's true. So I think one thing that I want to say to everybody who's listening onto this is that you may be believing that you couldn't do something, but in the end you can. For me, it was the most difficult for me to convince myself to do something that I was meant to do. So I think with that thought in mind, you be yourself and you do what you believe in. Because in the end, I think the way the world is changing, it is adapting to younger people, it is adapting to us and what we want to create. So I feel like a lot of people have worked for you to give this thing to you, to give this platform to you, that today you could be whoever you want to be, and the world will adapt to you. So I think taking from their struggles, you should use it, take advantage of this scenario right now, and just be yourself.
And definitely come to us, yaar. We are your babas and babu.
No, but I think one thing that I also want to say to everybody who is listening, in terms of government stakeholders and people who can really do something for the younger people, is have more inclusion in your system, to really have us on boards, to fund us and to give us the money so that we can pursue this, to put money into climate and in climate movements, to put money into beach warriors, you know, and to put money where more people could be paid and more people could really create careers out of this. Because we know how hard it is for us, how hard it has been since years for us to do it. So I feel like if there is more support, if there's more funding, we can bring in more younger people on board and they can really contribute in the best way possible.
Right, and definitely we aren't blaming anyone. We aren't blaming the stakeholders, the advocates, the governments, but we want your support in this, where we have an idea, we have projects, we have our
So to
100%
to
dedication.
believe in younger people, to believe in their ideas, and to really support them both morally and ethically and financially.
Right. So you aren't only an Indian star. You are an international star. You have been to COP27, COP27 Egypt, and the best part was you were among those few Indians, very few, handful of Indians who represented India there, as a fashion activism, as someone who's talking about climate change and everything.
I was the only influencer activist at COP.
Super, yeah, super proud to know that. India वाला सुनो, अब हम कब बुला रहे हैं ऐश्वर्या शर्मा को अपने पास. But definitely, tell me, how was the experience?
It was amazing. It was like to be known for something that you do, to be recognized like that internationally, and to represent your country. I don't think there is any other act of patriotism in the world than to represent one's own country, where you've grown up, where you've lived, and where you've connected with each and everything. So I think representing India at COP was a huge opportunity for me, and I'm super grateful for this opportunity by the COP27 presidency. And I feel like more younger people should, like really be given this kind of opportunity and experience to see for themselves, in this whole huge world, you have a place.
Right. So COP27, United Nations Ambassador for Goal 10. What else you want? मतलब और क्या चीजें चाहिए यार? I am so amazed. I am 26. You are 26. I was recognized by someone when I was 27. So I know this. जब मैं 2017 में 27 साल का था, तब I started with my beach cleanup and all.
Wow, yes, you told me.
And I suppose age is not a factor. You want to do it, go ahead. I feel that way.
True. Yeah.
So last, to end with the...
Age is not a factor, that's true.
Age is not a
and you can
factor.
all start young. Now we are making sure more younger people could be doing what we really struggle to do. So I think that...
And I always tell that I am 32. My team makes me feel even older because they are between 20 to 26, 27 years age.
Yeah.
And I have already felt older in front of them. So it's okay to feel older. It's okay. You are getting more handsome and beautiful. So
and also the fact that I feel like with the kind of serious work that we do, because at the most, even like the most surface level, this work looks like and feels like really serious work when you're engaged into, with people who really need more than they are provided for. I feel that people do associate that as a kind of work which only older people do.
Right.
But I feel like it's the young people who are needed the most in the system to make that kind of change.
True. We need young hearts. Anything, any message on insaniyat to the people, or anything about you want to talk about humanity?
Yeah.
What's your say?
Well, my say is it also got me a national award when I was in school, so I'm going to say it again. And I was in 3rd standard then. Is that I had knitted on a handkerchief saying "Jio or Jeene do."
Wow.
So I think unless you live and let people live, there is nothing that's gonna work out for any of us.
Right.
Just let people live. So in the most simplest form, I can say "Jio or Jeene do," and a little support for someone goes a long way. You never know what someone's going through.
Right.
So just be kind. That's it. I think this world needs more kindness, and the climate needs more kindness from all of us. And having said that, I think the line "Jio or Jeene do" has never sounded more appropriate or more relatable.
Right. So yes, जियो और जीने दो, खाओ और खाने दो, पियो और पीने दो, पहनो बट संभल के. पहनो बट संभल के. पहनने मत दो लोगों को. You have to stop. It is not you are stopping someone to shop something, but you have to be sensible where you're putting your money.
And make conscious choices. Think.
So what happens, pata hai, with this I want to tell people that during Diwali I tell my kids, I remove 100 rupees ka note and I tell them, okay, do you can I burn this for you? So bolo, no, why you are burning this note? Mola, that's what you are doing with the crackers.
That's true.
100 rupees का अगर आपको एक रस्सी बॉम्ब मिल रहा है, so you are burning it. So I should be saying that we are burning money when we are shopping excessively.
Yeah. It's, you know how we say fast fashion is cheap because someone else is paying the price.
Exactly.
You don't pay the full price of it because someone else has already paid that kind of price. And if you go to factories in underdeveloped world, you will see the condition of people, that the way they are living, and that does not make you feel good. It wouldn't. So that means that is not fashion.
Definitely. And with this note, we want to end it. And thank you so much, Aishwarya,
for having
for being there for the climate, for being there for me, for being there in this show. You are one of the person whom I look up to every time.
Me too. It's a mutual
and
feeling.
Definitely we are hoping to work together.
Absolutely.
And seeing you in Bombay very soon.
Very
I want
soon.
Bombay
Yes.
people, please call her as soon as possible so that she can come and do some
true.
beach cleanup with us.
We're doing that very soon.
done,
So with
done.
that, thank you so much for having us. It's been great, and we will see you very soon.
Very soon. Thank you so much everyone. Keep following us, keep sharing, keep giving your प्यार, because जितना प्यार आप दोगे उतना प्यार आपको वापस से मिलेगा. So देते रहो प्यार यार, प्यार ही प्यार चाहिए, and wear sensibly. Thank you. Love you all. Take care.